This is a cautionary tale about Lennie. Lennie is a 10th grader who didn't take the time to study for his exams. All he had to do was learn these vocabulary words, and he would have been fine. It was the end of school year, and Lennie had just finished prorating the costs for his summer vacation with his friends so that everyone paid the same amount. He couldn't wait for the rafting trip down the Mississippi. Lennie's teacher, Mr. Lindner, was busy delineating what was going to be on the American Literature final exam. He said to the class, "You people had better study or you might fail." Lennie's friend George was taking care to ensure his auspiciousness by studying and preparing for each test. George told Lennie, "Lennie, now you need to study since you don't want to end up a lonely ranch hand." Even his friend Huckleberry was making sure he knew every little remnant of information that might be on the test. Later that day, Lennie got a call from his boss, Walter, at the liquor store. Walter said, "Lennie, can you come to work tonight? I need someone to watch the store because my son Travis has his college graduation tonight." Lennie was confused. He knew that studying was the right idea, but it would impinge on his chance to make a few extra dollars before summer break. Nonetheless, Lennie told Walter he'd work for him, and Lennie headed up to Clybourne Liquor Store. When he got there, he saw a strikingly beautiful girl. The girl introduced herself. "Hi, I'm Abigail. Could you steal me a bottle of vodka?" Lennie immediately gave her a bottle, but before he knew it, an officer had manacled Lennie and placed him under arrest for theft. Officer Proctor cited Lennie his rights and put him in the back of his police car. Lennie was very disappointed in himself, but he was most upset because he would be in jail during his exams. When Lennie arrived at the police station, he pleaded with Officer Proctor for forgiveness so that he could go and take his exams the next morning. Officer Proctor agreed on one condition. Lennie would have to go to school with the stigma of wearing a big red L on his forehead for larceny. Lennie was quite embarrassed by this, but he reluctantly agreed. Lennie realized at this moment that he needed to reassess his priorities. He needed to be more like Huckleberry and George, or else this L on his forehead would become his epitaph, and he didn't want to be thought of as a loser forever. The next day, Lennie appeared in class with his L on his forehead. The L was definitely not petite. It was huge. Everyone asked about it, but Lennie just stayed silent and sat down in Mr. Lindner's class to take his exam. It was at this point that Lennie realized he hadn't studied. The first question on the exam asked Lennie to define rendezvous. Well, Lennie had no idea. When Lennie finished his exam, he had an inherent feeling that he had failed, and he did. Lennie had to come back to summer school and had to cancel his summer vacation with his friends to retake his American Literature exam with Mr. Lindner. For the rest of his life, Lennie always thought of this story before he was tempted to ignore his priorities. He refused to be a lusty, larceny loser any longer. From now on, Lennie's L would mean legitimate.